Alright, here is the video review for Tactics Waistcoat Beast General, aka a little Transmetal Megatron. And we've got this skateboard gorilla as a third-party Transmetal Optimus. This is a third-party Transmetal Megatron, although clearly at a different scale. As you can see by my hands, he's more Legends class. And I really want to like him. He looks nice, but the fit and finish on this guy just really isn't there. Like, one, this little tail claw is die cast, and if you open it up, it sits okay. But if you have it closed, it's super loose in here because it's like metal in this little pin. Now that's probably easy to fix with some polish, but a little disappointing to have that be so floppy. Also, this arm, this just pops right out. Like when I'm transforming it, this one's okay. This one seems a little stiff. This one just likes to pop out very easily, and as well as one of his robot shoulders. And it's just a little bit of a wrestling match to get this all folded up properly, which is neat, which is a little disappointing because they've done some neat ideas in the transformation. It just doesn't quite come together as nicely as I would like. And plus you can see, like, even just on the ball joint where this, I've only lifted this up once when I first transformed this into dinosaur mode. I played those little turbines, but even then you can see right off the bat there's already some paint wear and rub on these little ball joints in the sockets. Now, at least it's not happening on the exterior, so you can kind of ignore it, but you can already see the gray plastic underneath the paint there, which is sad. The turbines do spin, which is nice. But again, if you want to give him his little, he does have the ability to turn into his roller skating dino, hover dino mode. So he does have that going for him. He can roller skate. Although he can be a bit of a pain to balance with those skates out. There we go. So it's all there. Also, if you open his mouth opens up, and he even has that went too high up. He's even got a movable tongue. You can move his tongue up and down to make him really fa la 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 type face. So yeah, visually he looks nice. It's just there's something you can see even on the underside. You can really see that paint coming off there. Again, in a spot that's not super obvious, but it doesn't bode well for the paint on all these other parts if you handle them that often. Transform was pop his tail off. It's not attached in any way. It just kind of friction fits onto this post, and it will on his arm as well, but it is articulated there. You can, again, limited because of the shape of these things, but it can kind of wiggle a little bit. Again, less articulation than the B1, the original Beast Wars figure. So, oh well, but it is there. Again, that floppy tail. And then you gotta kind of pop these up and around. I feel like this is probably going to work a little better going to robot mode than it does going into dinosaur mode. And then these, you can see where these are attached, clipped together right here, but they also peg into the spine here, and it's a little difficult to get them off. And you can see there went that arm, because it does not take much for that arm to just pop off. Lift that up like that. Maybe that'll give us a little bit more of a elbow room to get under here and pop this open. You can go ahead and fold that up to get it out of the way if you want. And that just popped off. Again, that's not broken. That's just a little friction fit up there. But it's super tight to get these things off and open on here. There we go. That one we got up, no problem. And then with this one, we can just clip back in. It's just, ugh. Yeah, that's the right way. His arm out of the way. And clip it right back in there. There are some little slots to get those out. And we'll plug this hand back in. And again, some of this, part of the reason this is coming out is because it fits in with the paint, and when the paint starts to rub out of that socket, these get looser. But fold that panel up, the arms. Like I said, this shoulder is the one that likes to come loose. I don't think that's a paint issue. I think that's just a loose socket. But you bring this around because these are metal and these are plastic, so there may be some wear there. Hey, we got that one out. Like, if we try to twist this arm too much, it will come off, but you won't. So you can see it's looser on that joint than this one is. This one can stay up. This one just kind of really doesn't. Okay, better than I thought, but it just feels floppy and loose. Put the legs down, open up these little panels here, and fold that up, straighten the leg, and then lock that back into place. Again, lift up this little panel, fold this up and in, and then lock that back into place. Bring his leg down. Bring his leg down on the hinge. And Bring that forward like that. And again, you can see that hip, bring it down like that. The dyno head, lift this up over his robot head. And then this whole assembly comes around like this. These panels open up. And then his dyno head folds up and in and fills in the back. And again, it's nice that you've got these little panels that fold in from the side and fill in the back here. The dyno neck forms the interior of the back. Some really neat ideas here. It's just, I just wish it came together a little more solidly. Flip that up and peg it into the spine there. Again, this is a piece that as the paint wears off of this tab is going to get looser. And it already is kind of not wanting to cooperate. Fold this arm down, bring his arms down, shoulder guards here. Bring his arms, rotate this around at the waist. Like that. This piece with the hinge does rotate a little bit on its own. You can fold it out to the side there like that if you want to mimic the old toy. But it only comes out to this side, not this side, which is, when I guess on the toy you could flip it around to either side. But if you want to have that accurate bit there, you can do that. Or you can just leave it, fold it around back here. It just pegs on right there, and that's really the best place for it anyway. So yeah, this should peg in a little bit more tightly, but you can see it's flopping. Again, probably fixable with some polish, but with the paint rub, you could put some polish on this, and then it'll just peel the paint off, and then you got to polish it again. So just be aware there's going to be some work due to make this solid. And then the dinosaur tail, just kind of however you want. You just kind of friction fit it over an arm. Maybe a special way to get it in there with his fingers. Oh, there we go. Nope. Could have sworn that was it. There we go. He's kind of frictioning it onto his arm. He does come with a sword from the Grimlock repaint, but that's clearly Grimlock's sword in purple, but you can kind of, again, I don't want to push it too hard. Like, you can kind of get it in, and there it is, but like, don't force it because it can be a little difficult to wiggle out. And I don't know if I trust this thumb to stay on if you use that too much. Again, it's a nice Grimlock accessory. It's cool that they included it, but like, I'm not going to use this for Megatron. Two accessories that I do like, even though he can't hold them, are these little rubber duckies. He's got a regular rubber ducky and a transmetal rubber ducky, and that's kind of cool. He also comes with 2 extra heads that, I mean, I guess that one looks grimacy, and that one maybe looks less smiley, but I mean, like, I don't know, at the scale we're talking about, I don't know that the visual differences are accurate enough. I mean, like, from this one to this head, I can definitely tell this one's more of a pursed lips versus a smiling Megatron. But this head and this head, I really can't tell the difference. I'm not even sure. And I'm not sure if this, okay, it does just pop off the ball joint versus having to be unscrewed. Is that intentional, or just because of all the other bits it's just loose? I don't know. It does stay on pretty well as it is, but I prefer the more serious looking Megatron here, and all that. He does have a ball jointed neck. He's got ball jointed shoulders when they work. He does have a bicep swivel, but again, especially on this arm, using that bicep swivel, the bicep swivel is tight enough that it just pulls it off the ball joint. Dual hinged elbows, and then you said no wrist. Was it the wrist swivel? No, the wrist. Oh yeah, the wrist technically swivel, but again, you're just gonna be. They'll get looser as you wear the paint down. Go on his arm, please. Just stay on there. We're almost done. Just stay on there while we finish this review. There we go. The bicep swivel does have a waist swivel, dual hinge hips, nicely hinged knees, and then does have ball joint toes. So he's got, or not ball joint, hinge and ankle tilt at the feet. Like I said, it's a nice visually. It's a nice looking Megatron. It just, I wish at a small like Legends-esque scale, I just wish it all came together a little better, because it's not the design that's ruining it here. At least it's not the visual cues that are ruining it. It's just the. I wish there was a. firm way to get that to stay on the arm. There we go, like that. There's a couple little tabs in there that really make it want to stay on there. Yes, okay, accessories. I don't know that I need, like, again, as small as the detail is on these heads, and as dark as the paint is, I don't know that I necessarily needed extra heads. It's nice that they included them, I guess. The little rubber duckies, again, are neat, but there's not even, like, they couldn't even put, like, a little peg on there so you at least plug it into his hand so he could hold it. They're just accessories. And small ones at that are going to get lost. I guess you could conceivably pinch them in the claw. Because, well, like I said, while it's loose there, no, there's not really even a good way to grip them. They're round enough that the claw doesn't even grab them, so I don't know. But I do like the look of him. I mean, he'll go on the shelf and be displayed. Here he is with... It does look like he's colored after, because this has a slightly different color plastic on. This is the Japanese version of Transmetal Megatron, because the American version falls apart a lot, so I just invested in the Japanese metal set. I actually got Megatron versus Primal, the one that I showed in the Skateboard 8 Gorilla video, as a 2-pack for, I think I got it for like $30. I got it real lucky, because it was, even at the time I got it, was going for a lot more than that. But the plastic on this matches more the Japanese metals version versus the American version, which had a slightly more beige, more gold plastic on Megatron. So you see. And then here he is with Transform Elements Rat Trap. And again, I think he was a little bit more bigger. He was actually much bigger in scale to Rat Trap, but they look nice on the shelf together. And just because I have him and I love him, there he is with the Kingdom Rat Trap. Actually, let's slide these more center of the video there. So yeah, I'd heard about the problems with this. I knew going in that I was not to expect a perfect figure out of the bat. And I feel like my expectations were tempered enough. Like I said, there's some disappointment bits on here. I went in knowing that, and I think if you go in knowing that and you just want a small Transmetal Megatron on your shelf, he works for what there is, for what's there. A little pricey, but if you're collecting a lot of these Legends guys, you're used to that. Some good use of die cast, some really nice, like I said, there's some really neat ideas they incorporated into the transformation of this guy. I really like the new bits, the engineering they designed into it. There's just a few flaws in how it all came together, to the point where, like, unless you're a big Beast Wars or specifically Transmetal Megatron fan, I don't know that you need to go out of your way to hunt this one down. He is fun. He is neat. He's just flawed. But there is Tactics Waistcoat Beast General, a.k.a. Transmetal Megatron. Yes.